inside out. Make my heart beat. Leave no one else. You're all I need. Personality. Everything you do.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. For those of you who don't know, I am Kiki. Well, known as Kiki, but I am Kiona Ellis. So I know a lot of you are probably wondering, like, where this girl been? How dare she come back and make a video? She been going from YouTube for how many years? Your girl have been creating humans, like humans. So I am a mom, you guys. Let me give you a little timeline. So July 2019, my beautiful husband and I got married, and on our wedding night we conceived our beautiful baby son. His name is Alfonso Antonio Ellis III, and although he is the third, we like to call him Junior. My husband always wanted a junior, but he is a junior, so we had to do the third and blah blah blah. Aiden Armani Ellis, I was able to choose this name. So yeah, that's what's been going on. We had both of our sons in a pandemic. Super hard not being around family and friends. With Junior, it was a little bit harder because he was in the height of the pandemic. Like, legit, our baby shower for him was in March 1st, 2020, and then right after the baby shower, the pandemic just went crazy. So that's another story. If you guys noticed the title, this is about Aiden's birth story. So I wanted to share this story. It's a little emotional, this story, but I definitely wanted to share it to spread awareness and about it, so that other moms who may have experienced it, or you never know, may experience it in their journey, that you're not alone, and that you're not alone, basically. So yeah, I just wanted to share this story about our little Aiden Ellis. Aiden had no idea I was pregnant with Aiden, but so glad that we was. When I found out that I was pregnant, I already knew that it was a boy. I know it sounds weird, but I was like, this is a boy. I'm having the same exact symptoms that I had my first pregnancy, and I know it's a lot of myths with the pregnancies, but I just felt like it was a boy. He gave me every sign that he was a boy. I don't know if that makes sense, but I just knew. Like, I don't know. You know. We still had a gender reveal. Very small, intimate, and we found out that in fact I was correct. It was a boy. Fonz, my husband, was rooting for a girl. I mean, probably my entire family and friends was rooting for a girl because we already had a boy. Of course, you want that pair. But August 13 is when Aiden was born. I remember all the details, like I remember with both of my kids. So August 13, 2021, it was evening, and Fonz was supposed to go to work, and he was sitting down watching a football game, and I began to feel contractions, and I'm like, yeah, you gotta call out of work. And he was like, it's time. And I'm like, it's time. So we were already past our due date by, I believe, 4 days or so. We were already past our due date. So I was already anxious. I mean, being pregnant so close, you feel like you're pregnant. I felt like I was pregnant for 2 years. Like, I was pregnant for I feel like my entire 30s. I had Junior when I was 31, and then Aiden when I was 32. So yeah, I feel like I was pregnant for 2 years, and I was just over it. I wanted him out. I was exhausted being a mom of a toddler, and then of a toddler and being pregnant at the same time. Crazy. So that was stressful within itself. And then I felt a lot of mom guilt. Like, every time Alfonso wanted me to pick him up, I couldn't all the time because he was super heavy and I was pregnant. So I felt guilt with that. And I was guilty of that. I was pregnant and having our son so soon. I don't know if that makes sense, but I was having like a lot of mom guilt. But nonetheless, we were super excited that Aiden was arriving. So yes, that night, back to that night, because I always go off track. Your girl is okay. So back to the night, I felt contractions and I called my mom and I'm like, Mom, you need to get in an Uber and you need to come here as soon as possible because I'm having the baby tonight. I'm having Aiden tonight. And she was just like, like right now? And I'm like, yes, right now. So my mom got in an Uber and she got here as quick as she can. Although I was in a lot of pain and them contractions was hitting, I was calling her like, let me speak to the Uber driver because he needs to move faster. Get here now. So I got dressed. Fonz was panicking per usual, running around the house, looking for his socks, his jeans, looking for all these things. Mind you, I told him to pack a baby bag, but okay. So I told him to pack a bag other than the baby bag, a bag for himself so that he could stay in the hospital, whatever. So he didn't. He was running around per usual, like crazy, nervous. So we get to the hospital, and when we get there, I'm just nauseated. This was the first time that I was nauseous. With Junior, I was not nauseous at all. I didn't feel that. So I was nauseous and I began vomiting. And I have asthma, so my asthma started acting up a little bit. And I felt like I was having trouble breathing. It could have been anxiety because they said that my oxygen was totally normal. But that pregnancy journey is different, okay? So it could have been anxiety. So anyway, I start getting like nauseated. I start panicking. I'm telling them I need an asthma pump because I'm not breathing properly. Well, so and so and so. So they're taking their sweet time as usual, thinking that you're panicking and you don't know your body. So anyway, they transferred me to the room. And when they transferred me to the room, my water broke. No midwives, no doctors, nothing was inside of the room. It was just Fonz and I. And my water broke. And he's like, babe, you can't be peeing on these people's floor. Bruh. When do you know me to be that disgusting? So anyway, I'm like, my water broke. So he's like, oh my goodness. He goes in the bathroom. Fonz goes in the bathroom, grabs a whole bunch of tissue and starts cleaning up the floor. What are you doing? What are you doing? So anyway, I'm like, go get the doctors, because I'm about to push. So he was like, you sure? I'm like, I can feel his head. I'm about to push. So he ran, he went out. He was like, we need the midwife. She said she's about to push. So the midwives came in and they literally had to rush, pull down the light, hurry up, get everything down on the table because Aiden's head was right there. He was ready to come out. I was ready for him too, but he was ready to come out. I had just two pushes, and he came out. It burnt like crazy. So with Alfonso Jr., I was able to get an epidural. With Aiden, it was too late. So I felt all the pain, like everything. It was a burning sensation. It wasn't too crazy. I was like, dang, I could have did a water burp. But yeah, it was just a burning sensation, and then he came out. So when he came out, I had wrote in my birth plan that I wanted a delayed clamping. So yeah, they took some time to cut the cord, and I couldn't delay it any longer because Aiden wasn't breathing properly. So Aiden had swallowed meconium. Okay, meconium is just short for poop. So when I was pushing him out, I don't know if he thought it was food or what he thought, but he swallowed it. They said that this usually happens to moms who are past their due date and the baby has been there a long time, but it does happen. He swallowed meconium and he had so much inside of his lungs that he just wasn't breathing properly. So I didn't get to do skin to skin. Like they weren't able to wipe him off and bring him to me and allow me to breastfeed or do skin to skin, and that just broke my heart. I know it sounds cheesy, but as a mom, you just feel robbed of that experience. You're scared in the moment. So they grabbed him up and they said, we have to bring him to the pediatrics because he has too much meconium in his lungs and he's not breathing properly. So I was super scared. I was super nervous. You know, he just came out of me and he had to be brought to the pediatrics. He wasn't able to, you know, feel my heartbeat and know like I'm here, everything is gonna be okay. So that just broke my heart. So then they had the doctor come in, and once you see a doctor come in, you're just thinking, you know, the worst of the worst. So the doctor walks in and he's like, hi, my name is, and I'm like, is Aiden okay? And he was like, and I was like, is Aiden okay? So he was like, Aiden is okay, but he's not breathing on his own. Yo, I didn't want to cry. He's not breathing on his own, and he's connected to a machine that is helping him breathe. And he's in the NICU. They said you're not allowed to go see him right now. And we'll let you know when you can. Ah! Oh, it sounds like it almost feel like I'm back in the hospital talking about it. I just wanted to hold him. I really just wanted to hold him and let him know mommy's here. I wanted him to hear my voice. I wanted him to have a familiar voice, a familiar face around him. And the fact that they said that I couldn't go see him, that just, whew, that broke my heart. I'm gonna get it together, y'all. I'm gonna get it together. Yeah, so I was just a waiting game. Font had to go back home to be with Junior, so I was there alone while he was home with Junior. So, you know, I just waited and waited until we were able to see, so I was able to see him. So then I would like go in the hallway and they're like, you need to rest, he's gonna be okay, you need to rest. And I'm like, how the heck can I rest and I haven't held my baby? Like, are you guys crazy? So I finally was able to see him. I went down to the NICU. When you go in the NICU, you have to like wear covers all over your body. You have to wear a mask, and then you have to wear a face guard over that mask, and in order to see your child. So I didn't want to scare him, but it was just what I had to wear. And so I geared up and I walked inside the NICU. A lot of fighting babies in there. If you're a NICU mama, shout out to you. A lot of babies in there fighting for their life. A lot of beautiful nurses working so hard around the clock to make sure that these babies are okay. You know, Aiden was 7 pounds 15 ounces. He was a big boy. I knew he was a big boy when I was going to my appointments and was finding out his weight. So it was just so crazy to me. I associated the NICU with babies who were super tiny or born early. I never thought that he would be in there, but you know, there we were. And I got to you know, it was an experience, and it was super scary. When I went to see him, he had so many wires, so many cords all over his face, all over his body, and then it was a monitor there that was monitoring his breathing and monitoring more than just his breathing, but his oxygen level wasn't where it should be for him to be able to breathe on his own. And so the machine was helping him. And you know, his chest, like the way it was going up and down, like it was almost sinking in, you know. And I was just praying over him and talking to him and telling him that he's strong, he's a warrior, and that he's gonna be okay, and that mommy is here. Mommy is here. I just really wanted him to know, like, I'm here. You know, if you felt nervous or anxious, or if you heard any voice other than me, your dads, and your brothers, now you hear one that is familiar, and it's mom, and I'm here. That felt good to be able to let him know that. But I wasn't able to hold him. Still, he had to stay inside of the incubator and be monitored. And every single time those machines made a sound, my heart sank. It sunk. I just wanted to make sure he was okay. And I couldn't breastfeed him. He couldn't get any formula, any milk, or anything. He was just on antibiotics. They were just trying to clear everything out of his lungs. That's how much meconium they said was inside. So he was on those machines, and like I said, shout out to all the nurses around the clock who were just really making sure that he was good, you know, making sure his diapers would change, making sure he was wrapped up, making sure he was warm, just making sure he was comfortable. That sight, that image, it's overwhelming. It was a lot. It was so scary. It was so scary. But thankful be to God, Aiden is great. He spent 5 days in the NICU. Those were the hardest days of my life that I've ever experienced with having kids. It was so hard, you know. And just seeing him like that, you guys, I'm telling you, it was just too much. Yes, so he spent 5 days there, and about the 3rd day we had this amazing doctor. He came to me and he said, I'm gonna take some of these wires off of his face. He was like, because they don't seem to fit him. These are usually used for babies who are smaller, and I think we're gonna switch it, because he's such a big boy, we're gonna switch these wires and we're gonna make him a little more comfortable. And that was the first time I seen his face. It was the first time that I was able to see his face. He was so beautiful. Kiki, get it together. He was so beautiful. He was so beautiful, you guys. He was beautiful. And after that, the doctor said, I'm going to he said, I'm going to take him off the monitor just for 5 to 10 minutes and see how he's breathing on his own. And I was super scared. I was like, are you sure? I was like, are you sure you're supposed to take those off? I was like, because what if he's not breathing on his own? And then, you know. And he was like, we have to try. He was like, doctor said, we will never know if he's breathing on his own if we keep him connected to the machine, we have to try. We have to see if he's capable of breathing on his own. So that went on for about 24 hours. And they used to beg me to go upstairs and go to sleep. I'm like, no, I'm not leaving my baby. So the next day when I came downstairs, he had no wires. They said the entire night he breathed on his own and he didn't need it. So yay, go Aiden, go Aiden, go Aiden. So he was breathing on his own, and they had to monitor him for another 24 hours to see if he was able to do that. They said whenever he was in a deep sleep, he would have little dips. So that's like sleep REM or something they were explaining to me. So, but for the most part, he was fine. The 5th day, he was able to go home. So cool falls. I'm like, get the car seat. In the NICU, they have to do a car seat check. So the baby has to go in the car seat. They have to see if it's comfortable, if it's okay, if it fit this hospital standards in order for him to go home. So yeah, he passed the car seat check, and you know, we got him dressed, and I was just ready to get out of there. I was just so happy to get him home. I was a bit nervous. To bring him home because of the breathing issues, but I also just wanted to get him home because they stated that I would have to leave. Like I already overstayed my welcome basically, and if I wanted to have a room inside the hospital, my insurance wasn't going to cover it. I was going to have to start paying out of pocket. So I'm like, I'm not leaving the hospital without him. I'm not going home to have to come back to visit him. I want to be in the same facility. So when they told me he was able to go home, okay, let's go. It's time to go. Fonz came with Junior. Junior was super happy to see me. He haven't seen me in 5 days. He hugged me like, woo, I missed you, mama. You know, I just felt so blessed and so happy that our family was now back together. A little rocky stage. Yeah, that was hard. Junior didn't know what was in the car seat. He was super confused. When we got home, they met. It was so beautiful. He was so happy to meet his baby brother. He was confused that my stomach was small. He was looking at it like, he kept saying, belly, belly. I'm like, yeah, the belly is no longer there. This is your baby brother. This is what's in my belly. I'm pretty sure he probably didn't understand, but he knew that it was someone was here to stay. His friend, his first best friend. Yes. So any mom that's ever dealt with their baby swallowing meconium and spent days in the NICU, you are not alone. It was super hard, super challenging. I am grateful that Aiden is okay. He's more than okay. He's a super blessing. He is the missing piece to our puzzle that we didn't even know that was missing. Like, Aiden is brave. He's so active. He's so beautiful. He's so loving. He's healthy, and it's just a blessing. I'm so happy that we passed that stage, and that he's here with us. I just really wanted to tell that birth story because you know, sometimes as a mom, you feel like you're on the planet alone, and that your feelings are not valid, and that other people is not going through these things, but they are. People are going through these things. Sometimes people are going, you know, through a lot, moms, and they don't talk about it. So yes, I wanted to tell that story. Aiden is happy and healthy, and we are happy. You're such a beautiful cry, baby. I love you. I love you. give kisses?
Yay!
Hi, my lovies. I love you. Yeah. Ah, Dada. Dada. We talk about Dada. Say mama.
Turn me inside out, make my heart beat. Leave no one else. You're all I need.